Good morning. It is Thursday, March 5th. Um, Today we are talking about, or I'm talking about, um, your support team and support groups once you are diagnosed with either multiple myeloma or just cancer in general. Um, so with this video, it's going to be more so kind of going the pros and cons, um, and just kind of just the feelings that you know that'll overcome you when looking at information online, which can sometimes scare the shit out of you, which I'll be honest did with me. Um, and just reading different kind of people's perspectives that are dealing either with the same cancer or a different cancer. So just like with anyone, once you hear the C word, you freak out and you think that your life is over, that you only have 3 to 4 months to live, and a lot of stuff starts going through your head. And usually the last thing you want to do is, well, first thing and last thing is more so, look up as much information as you can. Now, all of us at some point, we get sick, we go on WebMD and it says, oh my gosh, your cut is going to lead to having to cut off your head and you only got 35 seconds to live kind of thing. So just doing research, I personally had to realize that I had to prepare for it. And I'll be honest, even to this day, I try and not do as much research just because my situation isn't the normal, typical multiple myeloma case. And so looking up information scared the shit out of me. Recently I've been trying to look for more support groups, and I actually stopped because a lot of stuff I was reading was making me extremely depressed. I was reading, one Facebook post was, oh, we lost so and so today. Another early victim or patient taken away, or some people were saying, I can't take this anymore. The treatments, are really hurting me. I feel nauseous all the time. All I want to do is just stay home curled up in a ball, and it sucks reading that. And you feel sorry for those individuals, especially if you aren't necessarily going through the same stuff that they're going through. I've been very thankful that my nauseousness isn't to the point where I'm throwing up a lot or even throwing up in general. I've come close a few times. Besides the aches and pains, I'm still able to move. So it's sad and it sucks to read, what these other people are going through. And every time I do, it's, I want to help, but I can't. And that's where, looking up support groups and doing research, it comes with a price. I asked a couple times on a couple of support groups, if anyone was, my age and kind of my health, if they're dealing with it. And I maybe out of three support groups online, maybe had even like two to four people say, hey, yeah, I'm in your age range. But only really one of them was in kind of the fitness industry. So trying to read everyone's opinion and get as much information, it sucks because it doesn't really relate to me. Like a couple of symptoms I think I said in the first video was bones easily able to break, a lot of pain, organ failure, things like that, and I'm not really having any of that. So it's like, I read these, but I have to also take it with a grain of salt, because if I don't, it can make me feel extremely depressed, and it has. There's been a couple weeks where I felt like I was in a black hole, and I was depressed. My anger was up. Death was constantly crossing my mind. Not necessarily, suicidal thoughts, but it's like, all right, like I'm gonna die at a young age. I'm only 29 years old. Then I'm gonna die. I have maybe 5-10 years. And reading that, for sure messes with the mental side. And having that affected kind of everyday communications with my family, my girlfriend, even sometimes how I looked at life. Like, what's the point of me even doing this? This person, you know, thought they were cured, and 6 months after transplant came back. Or, this person's been doing chemo for the last, year. Or another one was, oh, hey, I got my transplant, my stem cells done, and my transplant failed, and they have to go in for another one. And I was talking with my buddy Mike, and it's one of those things where it kind of goes back to kind of like having faith, right? Like I said last video, I'm not gonna preach, but a lot of times, the devil is trying to mess with you, and sometimes when things are posted online, it's more so him trying to get a reaction because you are vulnerable, and his goal is to make you feel even more vulnerable and shit, and all this, all the negative stuff. And so Mike and I talked, and he really kind of got me back on my feet, and said, hey, just keep talking to God, keep asking for help, because he is there. You just have to ask. So doing that has helped a lot lately. But that's the thing about looking up support groups. If you haven't and you're going to, just kind of take in mind that you will see things that won't really side with you. It could make you feel depressed, angry, sad, and that's just normal. But every case, everyone is different, and you just have to take it with a grain of salt. If it's something that you really want to learn more about, do so, because the more you know, the better it is, and the more comfortable you'll be on a day-to-day basis. My kind of thought process is, my doctors tell me what's going on, and I've done some research, enough for me to kind of understand what I'm dealing with. I don't really need to change my diet around because I usually eat pretty clean. I work out all the time, and I've asked the doctor and nurses many times, hey, what else can I do? And their response has been, just keep doing what you're doing. And when you're unable to kind of have, when you're unable to kind of do more to make things better, it sucks. It freaking sucks. It's like, am I supposed to like shave my beard? Like, do I need to like swim in a lake full of sharks to get 100%? But sometimes in life, everything that you think how can I say this? If you can honestly say you give 100% every day, you just gotta leave it in God's hands, and He'll take care of the rest. But the cool thing is even though I'm not really part of any support groups, which is my decision, just because, like I said, my case is very rare, I have an amazing support team. My family, my girlfriend, friends. It's been one of the biggest factors of me being able to do what I do every day and not feel as stressed, not feel as worried, not feeling as scared as I did in the beginning. Having the support of others is huge. And for anyone who is going through what I'm going through, or even if it's not cancer related, and if you feel like you don't really have the support team or someone to support you, reach out to me, because that's been my biggest thing, is having those who love me around me helps me out so much. And sometimes, when you are dealing with stuff hard in life, sometimes your actions and sometimes your anger gets the best of you. I'll be honest, I'm an asshole. I could be an asshole sometimes to my family. Oh, that is, they can all agree with that. And at the end of the day, they understand what I'm going through and struggle that I'm dealing with, and they know it's not easy for me, but they're still there for me. I have my friends that are checking on me, my girlfriend, who I appreciate the hell out of, who takes care of me when I need it, who does things for me when I don't even ask, but she knows that, by her helping out, it takes a lot of stress off of me, which I'm not used to, because I'm so used to doing everything on my own, even with my family. But I can't thank God enough for the people He has put in my life during this journey to be by my side as I battle and conquer this cancer, this disease of mine. Um, and so, like I said before, looking up support groups, um, just take in mind that you'll read some good stuff and you'll read some bad stuff, but do your research. And if you're not ready, don't push it. Don't push. Take your time. If you want to, look up some stuff here and there, that's fine. There's no rush. What I learned is you just have to take things very slowly. Last thing you want to do is feel overwhelmed because your thoughts get to you, and it's just frustrating and very overwhelming. And also so your support team, your all-star team, your lineup, right? If you don't have anyone, please reach out. And I may not be able to relate to what you're going through, but I may have an idea of of what I can do, and a lot of time it's just listening. My very first fitness manager, one of the things he had said is, when you're talking to people, there's a reason why you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. You're supposed to listen first before you talk. And in this case, if anyone needs to talk or reach out, I'm here for you. But in the end, I will get through this. If anyone is going through what I'm going through, you will get through this. Stay positive. If you need to talk to someone, talk to someone. Don't hesitate. Don't be embarrassed. I mean, I'm talking on YouTube, and I never thought I would have done something like this. But by talking about it, it's been helping. And so don't be afraid to talk. And just realize that even though you may not feel like you're in control, you are. It may not feel like it, and you may feel like, oh my gosh, like I can't handle this. You can handle this, and you will handle this. Just stay positive and keep your head up, and don't be afraid to talk. Don't be afraid to ask for help. There's always someone out there that can help you. But on a side note, I decided to go for a walk this morning, which I'm trying to do more of because I feel like a fat guy. And I came to kind of like one of my city's little lake areas. So that's what you guys can probably hear in the back. You can see it. I thought about jumping in the water, but I realized I probably shouldn't because I'll probably get some other kind of disease. So I'm probably just gonna keep walking. Anyways, you guys have a great rest of your Thursday and a great weekend, and I'll talk to you guys next week.